For our next example, let's look at a single line parallel system with a pressure sensor. For example, your machine requires grease to be applied every 90 minutes. Your injectors will be loaded to fire when the pressure exceeds 3,000 psi. You want to hold the target pressure for 10 seconds to allow the pressure to level out in the lubrication line. You expect the pressure to build within less than 8 minutes. In case of cold weather, you want to allow the system to retry applying lubrication before entering an alarm. You have already installed an analog pressure sensor into the system. The installed pressure sensor has a 0.5 volt to 4.5 volt output with a full-scale reading of 5,000 psi. Now let's enter these settings into the pump. Press up and down arrow keys together for a few seconds to enter the Setup menu. Use the up and down keys to change what selection is highlighted, then use the Enter or right arrow key to enter a new part of the menu. In this case, we want to start by navigating to Lube Mode, Interval, and we're going to change that back to Timer, and then we want this to run once every hour and 30 minutes, so we are going to change this to 1 hour and 30 minutes. Arrow down to the word accept and then press enter to accept and save those changes. We're going to back out and choose lube end next. And because we are operating a pressure sensor, we want to change from cycle to pressure sensor. The timeout we want to enter is 8 minutes. So we will change this from 5 to 8. Press enter. The type is already defaulted to what we said. We want a 0.5 to 4.5 volt sensor, so we'll choose that. The units is already set to PSI. Full scale is already set to 5,000, and threshold is at 3,000 because those are the defaults in the pump. But you can set them to other values as needed by your system. We're going to choose accept and press the enter key, and now we can back out and get back up to lube mode. For this case, we want a vent valve dwell time. So we are going to navigate to Advanced and choose Vent Valve and Dwell, because that's how we get that 10 seconds of extra time for the pump to hold pressure after it stops pumping and before it starts venting the vent valve. Now we can hit Accept. Next, we want to choose the retry option. Because we mentioned on cold days, we want this pump to try multiple times to pump the grease. So we'll choose retries and change the value to 2, press enter, choose accept and press enter, and now we can back out and those settings are applied. And that is how you set up a pressure-based system.